Hi, everybody. It's wonderful to be here again to read my poetry, even though virtually. And tonight I'm going to read only from my self-published chapbook in 2004 called "The Burton Sanity and Other Poems." All right, the first one is, how can this poem come about? A necklace of lotus hearts. I've been there and back, and the sun falls. The category of freeway ramps, the slow smoke up from smokestacks, and how should I cogitate? How should I measure the rift that the heart and the mind are separated now? The secret language of a man with a premonition of his own death. One heart, he said to me, while he was on a horse all his life, viewing flowers, creating phantom armies that invade without warning. That man is gone now, and he appeared to be a good man, an able poker player. And now the cranes are busy, the herons cry on the beach. Yet it seems it was all a social matter, as easily to arrange as a dinner party. I'm listening to my own music now. I see the infinite sadness that the dusk will bring tonight. Some will not wake up after the dawn. How is sadness measured? As before, a chain of lotus hearts. The flying droves view the changeless green sea below, that beneath columns of heavy water lie deep or early sunken Greek ships laden with treasures. Okay, I didn't want to be so cryptic about my writing. This next one is a love poem written many years ago. I've told you the fragility of my love. I have told you the fragility of my love, and yet how it endures like a leaf pressed into a book. How the pain and how inappropriately the hate, like the Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombs, left the silence where no man can speak. It is this that is the fragility of my love. Knowing my awareness is pain, I leave you in my mind, and many times I think of the silence where my mother's voice should drone. But the gentle hands release me to bed with the smell of kerosene from the village lamp burned past the hour of Mars. When we shut the window, the village crickets, when the tender bamboo shoots, the new fragile leaves bud in the fragility of my love for you, as I want to travel blind with you as far into the night until the sun rises in Japan, and I will sail my junk into phantom waters. Yet my love endures like cloth flapping in the wind. And most of you know that there's very little money in poetry, if at all. So this next one is my financial rewards from poetry. It's called Small Payments. For all I have given, I receive small payments and memories, and I did not give it to you specifically, but to the world, while it was thinking that intimidated me, while I thought I was kind to it, providing for its needs, for the needs of others. These memories are long ago of a neighbor girl in college who touched the button of my shirt when we by chance met in the bank a couple years later, and the red-haired girl telling me over pizza she thinks I can get through college, but I haven't yet. It was 27 years ago. My small payment in poultry weighs less than a small postage stamp. Ain't it the truth? It's the pits. But I'm gratified I'm able to make small payments to you, which I thought was mutual enslavement, and I still don't know the reality. I often think I've killed someone, and then they showed up again. I do not know. If the mind can kill, I've killed the greatest navy, and that's a small payment you give to me for a step into the water, and then one more step, and then forever, the master of water. While we're there, let's talk about ways we can travel by ship or by plane or by foot. Okay, the bus stop. There seems to be a way to get there, Sam, over bridges, viaducts, iron and steel. There must be a way of returning to, rolling on the chassis by way of wheels. If the end of the world is where you want to go, surely you meet some rain and snow. But as you say, there's no traffic jam on the water so immense, though the boat is slow. Anyway, you look at it, Sam, going to space is next. I concur. There's no time to waste. And coming back from the edge of the universe is mighty fine with a return ticket for you and yours. I do not disagree with you, Sam, with your astronomical calculations that over above we must have a space station. And I do not dispute that once we get way out there, Sam, we'll have a different view how a humble earth begins and spins like a little round drop of milky dew. So shoot me up, Sam, deliver my payload. I want to go at once, even if I could not return. That's the best way I can outdistance all my foes. And Sam, the farthest star is where my heart really yearns. And the next one is the time I was living alone in a tenement room in middle of Chinatown, someplace for like 7 years in a room, small room, all by myself. But I had some comfort. This is what it was. It's called The Months Pew Away. There's a woman, a cream color light brown, in a faint smile, in a light gaze cast down. She overlooks my simple room chilled by January, and yet warmly lifts me above my penury. There's a different woman in February, we older, well versed in the coming and going of marketplace. Good with chores and stretching the ends to meet. With the snow retreating, she makes me complete. In March, with winter gone, a young thing shows up sprightly when through the sun-clear window, pink and white cherry blossoms lay up the hills. How necessary being here to see and write this thrill. On and on the months will progress. A pretty girl appears monthly to light my room. How I love the world! But month after month I feel the ice when I rip them down. Faint smiles, light gazes, in cream color or light brown. Persimmon is a fruit that the lovers give to each other in Japan. And so this poem is called Two Persimmons Side by Side. Green was the lily pad on which sat the frog, and crimson was the light through an orange sky. Things will be all right this night and other nights. I'm not the most gifted, nor am I the most favored, yet I also want to flee into your arms enamored. I have a twin high in the metropolis, He's self-buried in the chatter of calculating machines. He never looks back at the village, where his brother redigs another ditch. In size, his long, slender fingers that could caress the violin. Somewhere in the world there are two persimmons side by side, on a shelf, ripening quietly through the quiet days. As he taps the keys to the typewriter so often that it goes by itself, nearly out of control. On some day or some month, all guitars will weep, and the persimmons' red hues will deep and deep. And for every brother there is a brother. For every persimmon there's another persimmon. But for every boy is there a girl. And for every girl is there a promised world. No one knows except the sky crimson, whether eaten by one or two, the red, moist persimmons. See, I'm getting to the age 71 where I have these dark thoughts once in a while about my own demise. And so this poem is called What This May Be Like. Eventually I will know what, even when nothing stirs, the hills will be steeper, the moon more silent, full and hanging lower, and the chilly air will bite your whole arm instead of just the fingertips. Eventually I know what it may be like to wake up even more alone than I'm alone now, and the night will be more empty than clam shells, and the silence will be more climbing like spiders, and it becomes more and more difficult to shut the night out with blinds or heavy drapes full shut. Eventually I'll know what those men in hotel lobbies know and why they spat on the floor of my small town childhood. Why they would simply stare out the hotel windows. I think what this may be like is wading into a river, fully clothed, with my heavy boots on, carrying my own corpse. Eventually, I will know what this may be like. All right, so now we'll just end up with a more happy poem. And this is a Villanelle. Villanelle, actually, the most famous Villanelle is by Dylan Thomas, Do Not Go Gentle into the Good Night. This is a spoof on a Villanelle. It's called Villanella. Perchance ice cream and poetry mix, I've a scoop of Villanella. No matter how the court jester downgrades the circus clown, because after all, they're basically two the same fella. At the movies, I pay a hefty price for butter popcorn, and by my lonesome in the back row, I'm found. Perchance ice cream and poetry mix, I've scooped of Villanella. Meaningful films are fine, but sometimes I crave a little porn. The fellow tenement roomers would even watch upside down, because after all, they basically two the same fella. Sin and sermon, they say, existed before it's even born. And surely enough, there's still enough for both to go around. With chance ice cream and poetry mix, I have a scoop of Villanella. But if the fair damsel falls into the trap of the Villanella, I'll by the blessings of the mighty Zeus clip his horns, because after all, he's a nasty, opportunistic fella. The King of France is still the King of France, even if unadorned. Even mutteringly, incoherently, outside his castle he is found. Perchance ice cream and poetry mix of a scoop of Villanella, because after all, they basically two the same fella. So Kunlun is Kunlun. Basically the same two fella. Okay, thank you very much. Next.